Okay, hello everybody. I hope we are live now. I am Péter Breier, technical manager from Solarkit, and here I am with Tamás Szentirmai, the Southeast region sales manager for Longi. Hi, Tamás.
Hi, nice to meet you. Good morning, everyone.
So we are going to do a little webinar about Longi products because we become a Longi distributor with Solarkit, and we believe that education is also very important in our field. So, Tamás, could you please do a short introduction about Longi as a company?
Yes, sure. As you can see, I called the first slide a new era of cell technology. So hereby I would like to invite everyone for a little journey to discover Longi and also discover the technology route that Longi is pursuing, which is actually quite different than our mainstream competitors, because our mainstream competitors are producing only TopCon products nowadays. So just to understand where Longi is coming from and what we are doing and what we are trying to do. So we are one of the biggest PV companies in the world. Our ambition is to become the most valuable company in the PV industry. We don't want to be anymore the number one. Nevertheless, we are for 10 consecutive years, Longi is the biggest monocrystalline wafer producer. And you can see here the figures, shipment figures and revenues. What is important that you can see that Longi started as a silicon wafer producer in the early 2000s and was growing from this wafer business into the solar business since 2014 under Longi Solar, producing also cells and modules. And now Longi is also active in the hydrogen business. One thing is important from all these figures. I would highlight one thing is the R&D, the expenditure, the money that we spend on research and development is extremely high compared to industry peers. Every year, Longi spends around 5 to 7% of the whole revenue on research and development. You can see that we have a research staff over 4,000 people only in R&D, and even in last year, we spent over $1 billion on research and development. It's a technology-driven industry, so if you don't spend on R&D, then you will not be able to offer the technology, and you will fall behind. Yeah, this is extremely important.
It was really important that you mentioned that you started as a silicon or wafer manufacturer, because then the production is integrated. So you use your own cells, you don't have to buy from external sources, and you can go on with that development.
And we can control. I will talk about this. We come back to this topic and we talk about reliability and the quality control, why this is important, why this full integration is important, because if you have in-house everything, you can control in-house everything.
Sure.
You have influence on this.
And also, these products have a really long time warranty period, 12, 15 years, and even performance warranty is longer than that. So could you please tell us a little bit about the importance of bankability and the current status of Longi in that regard?
Yes. It's nowadays, you're also selling batteries. I saw your presentation in the MNNS conference 2 days ago. You were showing, the falling battery prices. I'm wondering if battery prices or module prices have fallen more dramatically. But
close competition.
it's a close competition between the two industries, I guess. But it's of course, it's on one hand, it's good news for the customers, right?
Sure.
And also because it enables to make PV investments. But on the other hand, you need to be cautious, because when you look at the financial health of the PV producers, quarter by quarter, the financial health of these companies is dropping and dropping. It's important to note that why financial health matters. Because you are buying products, as you said, up to 30 years of warranty, and it cannot harm if if you have any issues after 8, 7, 5 years, the company still exists, right?
Yeah,
so that you can use you can use the warranty that is promised on the data sheet, right, and in the contract.
As it's a manufacturer warranty, not a supplier's warranty.
Exactly, and because you will see when we talk about reliability issues with certain technologies, we think will come later. We will touch upon this topic. It will not come. You will not see the problems after installation. You will see it after a couple of years, right? When it comes to degradation and performance drops and so on. We will touch upon this later. Nevertheless, it's important to note that in the PV module tech bankability rating, still Longi for 19 quarter maintains the AAA. Only 1 or 2 other companies have this, and it is extremely important to note that we expect actually prices are so much down, and everybody is making loss on getting rid of old stock which was produced at high price, high production cost earlier. It's increasing. It's creating a lot of loss for the producers. And we expect a consolidation in the coming period. So there will be several players disappearing, and we will see also a consolidation.
Yeah? We already see many of the brands removed from the tier 1 list.
Exactly.
That's partially because of the bankability ratings getting worse.
It's a very valid point. So the tier 1, I think, by the start of this year, like 26 companies disappeared, from the tier 1 list. So indeed, so this has already started. So it's important that your investors and customers are making decision which brand which company they trust, not only because of product quality but also financial quality.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have discussed a little bit already about the research and development. Can you walk us through a bit of the innovations led by Longi?
Yeah. So you can see in this on this roadmap, different technologies and innovations that by which Longi was making the way and also shaping the industry, I would say. So we have come with the PERC, with the bifacial technology. By that time, nobody understood why you need bifacial, then we introduced the half-cut technology, and we were
so now industry standard.
Of course, but that was coming first from Longi. Then we introduced the industry size standard, the M6, the M10, and now we are developing different technology routes for different applications. So we are designing products different for the rooftop and different for the ground, because you have different needs, for the various application scenarios. And very important that we have introduced also the since 21 we have the Longi life cycle quality management system, which is making sure that the quality is fully reliable and proper. Yeah.
Yes. With these many of innovations came a lot of records, right?
Yeah. We keep a lot of world records for various cell technologies. Actually, how we work internally, that we have different R&D teams developing different technologies, and we have they are competing with each other actually, and they have different Longi keeps different world records for different cell technologies, as you can see. Since March we have we have broken 2 times the Perovskite tandem world record, so we are now at 34.6. However, I must note that when this is laboratory test, results. Yeah, it's what you can do in the laboratory. It takes a couple of years to put it into mass production at a reasonable cost and at a good quality, right? So it takes years of research. For example, the HPBC technology that we will talk today was invented by Longi in 2017, and we brought to mass production in 2022. Yeah, so it 5 years to make a viable product, according to the product strategy of Longi. Because of course, if customers were willing to pay 50 cents, you know, we can produce, you know. But you know, but the product strategy of Longi is the most important pillar is to offer the best LCOE, the best return on investment, including also the balance of system costs, right? So we could produce, for example, heterojunction even today, but if the cost is too high, then you don't have the best balance in the equation, right? So you don't get the best return because the production cost can be high because you have a high loss rate in the production, right? Yes. For example, or the second pillar is the quality. If the technology in mass production is not fully sure that it is reliable on the long term, that we can offer really 15, 25 years of warranties, right? Then we will not put it into production. And the third pillar is that the large scale. You could see in that we were shipping 67 gigawatt of modules last year, and it is like you know, 7 times more than the total power plant capacity in Hungary, right? So it's we don't do niche products, you know, with a couple of hundreds of megawatts. We go large scale because this is the way how you can really optimize the supply chain and reduce the cost, right? So these are the 3 important pillars for Longi.
Okay, maybe we should discuss a bit more about the development of cell technologies because that's really quite the important part here.
And it's a very popular topic because now everybody I see day by day articles, TOPCon is the future. The other producer says heterojunction is the future, and Longi says back contact is the future. But fortunately, not only Longi says that back contact is the future, but let's have a look at the history of the industry, right? So the early 2000s, the polycrystalline BSF back surface field technology was the mainstream, right? Quite low efficiency, below 20%, and then actually Longi contributed to change from the industry from polycrystalline to monocrystalline, and Longi pushed this so hard, and also developed different technologies for example, the diamond wire cutting technology for the wafer manufacturing, which enabled the industry to reduce the cost of right? Manufacturing. Yes, exactly. That was the key. And then the PERT technology became the mainstream, and this is a very reliable and well-researched technology. And nowadays, there are three technologies competing today. Heterojunction, TOPCon, which is probably the mainstream today, and the BC stands for back contact. And there are only a very few players going the back contact route because it's a bit more sophisticated technology required.
And it's harder to manufacture.
Yes, and well, there are different back contact, different manufacturers have different technologies. You know, you have IBC, you have ABC, and Longi developed its own technology. The back contact technology has a lot of advantages. Just to highlight that, of course, on the front side you don't have bus bars and fingers, so you have less. You have no shaded area, and you have no shadow effect. We will discuss this later. And also the current loss is reduced better compared to other technologies. And you know, also in car manufacturing they use car platform, then on this they build different types of car, right? BC back contact is also extremely good platform technology on which you can combine different cell technologies, right? And this combination is actually one of the things that Longi did. Longi developed its own unique back contact technology, which we call HPBC, which stands for hybrid passivated back contact. Why it's a hybrid? Because it's on the top layer we use PEEP passivation, and we use the tunneling oxide passivation on the lower end, which is actually the TOPCon, right? So it's a combination. That's why it's a hybrid. Yeah, and this combination enables Longi to provide cells which offer higher performance. So the standard cells offers 25.5% cell efficiency, and we have a premium cell category, where we use an additional hydrogen passivation layer, which is decreasing the oxygen content, and therefore this offers higher efficiency. And we mentioned about, let's see the benefits and the key parameters and the key features of the BC technology. Yeah? So one thing, I mentioned that this product family and technology was designed based on customer needs, right? It is one of the key things is that customers, residential customers, said that yes, indeed, aesthetic matters. Just like when you buy a fridge, to your kitchen, of course, it must fit the size. Yeah. Efficiency, maybe of course, energy efficiency important.
But you don't choose an ugly one.
Exactly. You don't choose an ugly one because you will have problems with your wife. Yeah. Nobody wants to see an ugly fridge in the kitchen, right? And Longi said that it needs to come to the PV modules, right? And that was one of the aspects when designing this. And you can see here on this that you have a traditional non-BC cell, which can be TOPCon, which can be PERC, which can be heterojunction with the front bus bars. The BC technology aesthetically offers a pure minimalist design. It's aesthetically, it looks better. With this one, you can make beautiful projects like this villa in Sweden. This is with the full black version. And here, it's a good picture to comparing a full black regular module with the full black back contact. So it's a completely different aesthetic feeling, right? And we will not spend time on this. So we have these standard sizes, M10 industry standard. I think everybody knows this is the mainstream already for the last 2 years in the industry. And 54, 66, and 72 cell. And maybe what is important, I would highlight, here you can see the power bins. One thing is what is important, I'd like to highlight maybe the 66 cell, which is a quite unique product size in the industry. And this is the most popular product for CNI applications, actually.
Yes, I believe we have discussed this. This one is like especially for flat roofs in C&I system, because you can install that size without a third leg in the mounting system.
Exactly.
And it will still be durable and will maintain its performance. But the installation would be cheaper, and also the panel size. I mean, the power output is higher because it's around 514 watts instead of the standard 440 maybe from other manufacturers.
So you use the same mounting as for a 54 cell. You have a product that is longer than, it's almost 2.1 meter, very high power output. You can use short side clamping, horizontal short side clamping, and you save a lot, 28 euro per module on the mounting structure. That's the point when I mentioned that we are designing products for custom, for the best LCOE, considering the balance of system cost, right? So maybe Longi is more expensive than another brand, because nowadays everybody can produce modules. There are like 100 players. I mean, it's but the quality is, of course, it's another big topic we will touch upon.
Even if the panel is 1 or 2% more expensive, if you can save 20-25% on the mounting system.
Not even. I mean, I guess now what we are talking about now, what is the module price per piece? We talk about module prices of around 50 euro. Guess, and then you can save 28 euro, 30 euro on a mounting per module.
Yes.
So the biggest CNI project in this year in Hungary was done with this product, 22 megawatt multi-site CNI, and it was done with 535 Longi. Yeah, because that's
very reasonable.
Very reasonable. Yeah.
Okay. So we can. Maybe show how the back contact affects the shadowing effect, because it's a very important aspect of the back contact.
Yes. So let's go now through. There are different, characteristics of this product. We already touched upon that. There's zero shadow effect, in contrary to a regular product. Therefore, the light absorption is almost 2.3% higher, right? And you can see this shadow effect. Of course, the bus bars are small, but they are still blocking the cells, and then they are creating shadows. And this shadow effect is particularly big when you have a low light environment hour, early sunrise hours, right?
And that's when usually you consume electricity.
Yes,
right?
That's the peak actually, because you have two peak periods today. Now the
on
price
the morning
curve,
and on the evening.
Yeah, exactly. So I worked in energy retail. 5, 6, 7 years ago, the prices were in the noon, the peak, but the PV penetration completely changed the price curve, right?
Yes.
So now I read this morning at 5 p.m. it was 770 euro per megawatt hour yesterday.
It was the peak when everybody gets home and start to use the electricity.
Exactly. So
now the solar panels don't produce that much.
Exactly, that's the point. And you will see what this technology can offer in these hours. I will show you later, right? And we mentioned that, of course, TOPCon is the mainstream product, right? Among the top 5 producers, Longi is kind of a Don Quixote warrior, I would say, with the back contact technology, because all the others are offering TOPCon. Why? The TOPCon became very popular because one of them is because, as we mentioned earlier, there was the PERC, yeah, and of course, TOPCon offered higher efficiency than PERC, but the other promise of TOPCon products were the better temperature coefficient. And indeed, compared to PERC, which offered around 0.34% temp coefficient, TOPCon products offer promise 0.29. Nevertheless, the actual measurements, it's not Longi measurements, it's Tüvreiland measurements, show that TOPCon modules don't bring what they promise on the datasheet, right? So they are underperforming around 10%, which is actually a problem in the hot summer hours and also
the cold winter hours.
Cold winter hours, right? Exactly. And the other benefit of this technology is the higher open circuit voltage, which will mean that the inverters switch on earlier in the morning and switch off later in the evening. So you are extending the electricity production period, which is again very important.
Discussed about.
Yes.
This is the important part of the day.
Yes. And according to our measurements, in these low light environment hours, we not only see, but we see on actual measurements that in these low light hours, this module technology is delivering 18% more electricity than a TOPCon product, right?
That's a very significant percentage.
That's very significant when you have 700, 800 euro in those hours. And you are, of course, it's not currently, it's not an aspect for households due to the price regulation, right? But for C&I, it's indeed getting higher importance.
Yes, but in some countries where the residential price is also high, they can save a lot of money with installing Longi panels.
Yes, I hope Hungary will also go in this way, that because, in Benelux and so on, in other countries, the households are also buying on the free market. They have index prices, and suppliers are optimizing their offtake and feed-in on the grid. So yes, but in Hungary we don't have this yet due to the price regulation. Yes, and let's have a look on the welding structure of the BC. On the left, you can see a regular welding structure, which is Z-type. The contacts are going on from the front to the back in a Z shape, and where you see the red dots, you can see the welding points. And these welding points cause a stress, a pressure on the cell, right? And this is what it's called cell edge stress, right? And this is one of the key reasons for any microcracks, right? And it was not a problem for the PERC, because for the PERC they used thicker wafer around 170 micron. But since as TOPCon became, popular, but it was more expensive to produce than a P-type wafer and cell. Because for TOPCon you need higher processing temperature, you need to clean the oxygen better, the impurities and so on. So it was more expensive to produce. So in order to make it more competitive, they decrease the thickness of the wafer. So for the TOPCon producers, they are using 120, 130 micron, right? So significantly less than for PERC. And therefore, when you have this select stress, it goes to a much thinner wafer. That is creating a big risk for the cell and for the microcracks. If you are not protecting the modules, you will see actual simulations. What does that mean? For the BC, we are using a back welding structure, right? And this select stress was reduced to almost half, yeah, because it's so therefore it is a much more robust technology in this sense. And also we are using a thicker wafer, not a thinner one.
So less stress and harder material.
Yes, exactly. And having said that, okay, Longi for 2 years now we claim that BC is the future. But now you see already, BC modules and also other technologies in commercial availabilities, right? These modules are available on the market, and this is from a study from Exawatt Consulting, which is showing the cell efficiencies of the different technologies. You can see that with the back contact technologies, you get the highest efficiency. And so you can expect also the highest performance from the back contact. And here you can see a couple of simulations for residential applications. They are comparing in various countries the energy gain compared to the previous mainstream PERC technology. Obvious from this chart that BC technology offers the highest energy gain compared to the PERC. So I hope more and more people will realize this. But if studies are not enough, let's go to actual measurements, right? So we have 14 factories all around China, right? So we are testing. We are not only doing laboratory testing and the research, but we are also countermeasuring, benchmarking our modules in real life, doing pilot projects on the Longi factory rooftops and so on, where we are testing our modules against competitors, right? And of course, we are using top competitors as a reference, not others. And so this is from Henan province, one sample, which is where we are testing our HIMO 6 module against TOPCon. You can see that in this particular project, the energy gain was over 1.34%. But what is more interesting is 6 monthly measurements. And what is more interesting, when you see here that in the middle of the chart, you see here it was some cloudy days, right? So in those cloudy days, the energy gain on those days was like between 6 to 7, 8% compared to a TOPCon for the whole day, right? So that's a significant benefit, I guess, for a solar module.
So 1.5% energy yield you already won without even changing anything, just by using Longi modules.
Yes. For this case, yes. And for this case, that's another project where we are simulating PERC 555 versus HIMO 6 575 and TOPCon 575, same watt peak. Yeah, you can see, of course, compared to the PERC, we have more than 14% gain. But compared to TOPCon, same watt peak, we have 2.4% more, right? And when you look at on the right side, you can see that indeed this average 18% energy gain in the early morning and in the late afternoon hours, indeed, we have these actual measurements, right?
This can significantly influence your return of investment.
Exactly. And then we have several, these kind of projects. In these other projects in Shanxi, the performance was even better because the average gain was over 2%, 2.15%. Yeah, so we have a lot of these kind of projects, really showing the actual performance, very nice results.
Yes. Okay, so maybe we should return back a bit to reliability, because it's one of the most important aspects of the solar panel producers.
Yes, you know, they are people are doing investments, you know, PV investments for 25 years, right?
And very long term.
And manufacturers are offering 12, 15, even 25 years of, or up to 30 years of warranties, right? Power or product warranty and so on. And of course, why? Let's see why reliability matters and why Longi is so much focused on reliability. Yeah? Because when you have a long-term investment, then of course, what does it influence? Your payback, right? Your return on investment. Of course, you have the capex. You need to buy the system. You need to install the system, and that is the basic, you know, where you start off. But and then the second pillar is, you know, what you will get is depends on the efficiency, you know, that we discussed now, the energy yield produced, and also, but you will not have a good energy yield if your module is poor quality, right? Because then you will not have a reliability, because if you have a high degradation, then you have a problem, because you know what you put in the Excel will not come. That's and therefore reliability really matters. This chart is from the International Energy Agency, showing the failure causes of for modules. Of course, you have on the upper part you have failures linked to manufacturing defects, like junction box, diode failures, cell cracking, glass breakage, you know, due to manufacturing problems, and so on. And of course, you have external causes like disaster, from which you have a lot of, or more and more, because you have extreme weather, you have heavy wind, even in Budapest, you have more and more extreme hailstorms, right, and this kind of stuff. And of course, you have also, unfortunately, this type of issues when you have an improper installation, right?
A little bit of design failure.
Yes, yes. So there are a lot of aspects, right? But you need to make sure that you buy good quality stuff and you use good quality equipment, because now there are more and more articles published, so it's not only Longi talking about this topic now,
but the industry, you know, is talking
because Longi, actually, when all others started with the TOPCon, Longi still 2 years ago, I remember, I could not offer TOPCon because Longi said no TOPCon, you know, single glass. No, I will explain later. But we will come with a better technology. But for 1 year, we kept still the perk until we didn't launch the X6, you know, which we believe. So the Longi said we will offer, we will come with a better technology, which is also reliable, right? Yes.
So because these microcracks are also not seen, so it's very hard to judge how panel performs.
And actually, because the TOPCon became very popular, now you have already a lot of projects, you know, installed after an operation 2-3 years. Now there are coming more and more studies, you know, available. But the Longi R&D foresee this, and that was the decision that we go the other route. There are actually a lot of studies now, for example, Clean Energy Associates saying that there are plenty of you know, modules out in the market installed already, which have you know, issues linked to manufacturing. You see here a EL test, you know, module full with microcracks and degradation. And when it comes to reliability, as I mentioned, Longi offers for 3 years now the Longi Lifecycle Quality Management System. It is you know, we have a fully integrated chain for the production, from the ingot, wafer, cell, modules.
So everything is produced in-house.
Yes. When I had the opportunity to visit several Longi factories and wafer manufacturing, module, cell manufacturing, R&D labs, and so on. And you know, I was really impressed to see about I could not count at how many points there was quality control, even before lamination, medium, after lamination, every single step. You can see that there are hundreds of steps and quality inspections during the process. And also we are using artificial intelligence already now for the quality inspection, and the statistics shows that the failure rate of Longi modules is around 70% less than the industry average.
70%,
yes,
very high.
It's very high, but it's also, we believe that this is, we really want to associate our brand with top quality, and we go this way. And you can see here a lot of, tests, for example, another big topic in the industry, you see when you go to Intersolar, you see, 700, 740 watt peak modules, these are huge, large cell, large module, 72, 78 cell. And, Longi says the bigger is not obviously the better, right? But when you have what we call an oversized module in 45-meter wind channel test, and then you have a smaller 72 cell Longi module in 60 meters per second on wind channel, the smaller module can withstand much harsher environment. And as you can see on this chart, as you increase the module size, you significantly increase the risk. Yeah,
because deformation also causes the cracks.
Exactly.
Spread immediately.
And of course, these kind of problems, like module is falling this way or the other, they are dropping the module. It can happen also during installation, and when they are bringing the module on the roof. The module can already torch.
You somehow have to move the product.
Yes, you have to move the product. And of course, after these drops and tests, you can see that in the electroluminescence tests, after these drops, there was a 0 microcrack on the Longi module. And why is that? Because you have the IEC standard, right? That you find on all the data sheets, because without passing the IEC standards, you cannot sell the product. And you see here different tests: PID test, mechanical load test, temperature test, UV test, and damp heat test, and so on. And in the IEC standard, modules need to qualify to 5% degradation maximum, right? Longi is more strict to its own products, to all the products. We require, among all these tests, to be on our products to be under 2% for the degradation. So we are actually much stricter than the IEC standard, and much stricter than the competition. Also, as we discussed, when we talked about the welding structure, that TOPCon is a very thin wafer and so on. Here you can see the key risks why actually Longi did not decided not to produce N-type single glass N-type products. And the reason is the damp heat test. In the IEC, they do the damp heat test for DH1000 because they put the module in a chamber for 1000 hours, exposing it to high temperature and high humidity. By doing so, they are simulating a lifetime in operation of around 7-8 years, right?
Yes.
And you can see here that in this DH1000 test, single glass TOPCon modules have qualified the IEC standard because they are below 5% with 4.5, right? But when you look
closely below,
yes, and this is an average. But when you look at the X6 Max of Longi, you see 0.38. So the degradation is in this test 10 times, more than 10 times less with the Longi product. So it's a huge difference. You don't talk about the same stuff.
Yeah, and that's not everything, because they do also the damp heat 2000 to simulate the product warranty time period.
Yeah, because PVEL, one of the independent research institutes, said, hey guys, if single glass TOPCon shows this kind of degradation, then let's do an extended test, right? Which is 2000 hours, simulates 14, 15 years in operation. And you see power loss of over 67%, while Longi product X6 with 1.32, right? That means that basically these modules will be kind of a scrap after 12, 15 years,
And 67 is immensely high. Like you cannot even.
That's Yeah. And this is what is coming. Of course, you don't see it because TOPCon started to become popular, but the market was in the last 2 years full with single glass TOPCon modules. You will see these results in a couple of years. Right?
Yeah, but TOPCon became a trend, and everybody joined.
Yes.
Almost everybody joined in. But now they seem to be realizing that because the other manufacturers also stopped producing the single glass TOPCon modules.
Exactly. Now they most of them who realize this, because now also there are articles about this, right? And they switch to double glass, which is actually indeed protecting the cell, the thin cell, the thin wafer and cell better. But with this solution, of course, you have another problem, right? Because of course, the double glass is protecting the cell better, but you have only, for bigger modules, they use 2 millimeter front glass. And for the smaller ones, most of the producers use 1.6 millimeter glass. Yeah, that's also, there is also a difference because Longi also has the double glass version of the X6, but even for the double glass, we use 2 millimeter front glass, and which offers more than 50% more resistance on the front side than the 1.6 millimeter. And not to mention, when you have a monofacial product like the standard X6, 3.2 millimeter tempered glass. Yes, and therefore, you know, like I hear problems now in Slovenia. They had quite severe weather conditions and hailstorm, and they said they will not buy anymore. The hail destroyed even double glass product because the front glass broke. Yeah,
the 1.6 is only the half of a monocrystal or a monofacial.
Monofacial, yes, indeed. That's why. If, of course, you have some application scenarios where you need the double glass, for example, carport and things like that, and also you need it for the ground-mounted installation for the bifaciality. But you know, for the rooftop, probably it's better to choose a monofacial product. Yeah. Yes, and all these efforts that Longi did. For the performance and the reliability is also recognized by external third-party research institutes, PV Magazine, RETC, PVL, TÜVREL, and Denson. And they know these test report. When you see, you will see that Longi products are always in the top performer, highest achiever, and these kind of categories. Yeah, so you can be sure if you buy Longi product, you buy a really good quality product, which will last decades, as promised, right?
And also the company, as we discussed in the earlier stages of this webinar, that the company will still be there if you have any issues.
We as we said, we don't focus anymore. You know, we were number one also in modules for 3 years. We don't focus. We want to offer the best technology and the reliable technology, and be there on the market, you know, for long term for our customers. That's the goal. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So a bit about the product portfolio, because you up until now you used the X6 sets. Now you have the X6 Max series. Could you walk through?
Yeah, sure. Let's switch there because this is the future. You know, you can see this trend that you know, many producers switching from the earlier the M10 standard, industry standard, cell standard. They switch to rectangular sizes, and also we are also doing this. We switch from the X6 to the X6 Max, but it's not only that we change sizes, but we also come with a new wafer technology, which we call Tie-Ray. This has been introduced at Intersolar by Longi. And let's go there, check what is new. So we are using the same cell technology, the HPBC, that I introduced earlier, and we are combining this with the Tie-Ray wafer. And this offers a product with lower degradation, higher efficiency, and better temperature coefficient. Important to note that, as I mentioned, we switch format. Yeah, from the M10, the square cell, we switch to the rectangular cells, M11 industry standard, and thus this implicates also a size change. because you can see that the module width of the module will not change, but the length of the module will change, right? The 54 cell will be around 8 centimeter longer, and the 72 cell will be around 10 centimeter longer. And like earlier in the...
Sorry, I just want to mention, because I think it's important here, that with the new cells, for the flat roof scenarios, they will still be applicable with only 2 legs, so it still stays.
Yes, but we have a different size of module.
Yeah,
I will show it later, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then from this product family, we will have 4 members: the Explorer, the Standard, the Scientist, where we use this premium cell, which offers higher efficiency. We will have Guardian, which is the special products, for example, with the anti-dust frame. And also the Artist will cover where aesthetic matters, mainly the full black versions. And now let's just focus on the standards. The Explorer, here you can see the sizes which will be available. So from this X6 Max, we will have 54, 72 cell, the smaller, biggest. These are already available. And we will have the medium size, which will not be like 66 cell, but 60 cell. Hence, this size will be just less than 2 meter and offering around 510, 515 watt peak. And also the frame will be only 30 millimeter, which offers again transportation benefits and so on. And compared to the X6, when you look at the characteristics, you see that the first year degradation, instead of 1.5, it has been improved to 1% only. And the temperature coefficient improved from 0.29 to 0.28%. And you can see also in this chart that we will have 54 and 60 cell, the full black version as well. Yeah. And here, just a quick overview for the Scientist. Is the same product series, but with the premium cell, higher, same sizes, but slightly higher efficiency. And more interesting, I think, if we touch upon, the new wafer that Longi developed, which the technology is called Tie-Ray inside. And as I mentioned, Longi is the biggest wafer manufacturer for I think 10 consecutive years now. And this is the first step of the production chain, right? You need to create an ingot from which you are cutting the wafer. And when you in the regular ingot pulling process, when they are pulling from one crystalline, the ingot in a chamber, this ingot is inconsistent. Yeah, the material is not consistent. The whole ingot. And Longi managed to develop a technology which offers a higher purity of the material, and also during the pulling process, ingot pulling process, they are changing the temperature and the pressure in the chamber. And by doing so, they are able to create a more resistant wafer and better consistency throughout the ingot. For example, which means that from the same ingot, we will not have like a big range of watt peaks, but much smaller range. So for you, it will be also
more consistent.
Production is more consistent, indeed. And the other big benefit that the mechanical resistance is improved by around 16%. And what 16% might seem not too much, but let's see what does this mean actually in real life. You have a test here with the coke, which weighs 200 grams. You can see that the conventional wafer is collapsing, is breaking to pieces under the coke, and the Tie-Ray wafer can resist. Yeah, so we can reasonably assume if the Tie-Ray wafer resists the coke, then it can also resist to microcracks much better, right? And yes. And then what we already discussed, this welding structure, I will not repeat, but it's important to note that in contrary to peers, we are not making the wafer thinner, but we use thicker wafer to increase the robustness. because also, for example, by having this bigger resistance with all these features, the Z-shaped welding structure, the better materials, higher resistance and better resistivity, it is you know, we can, for example, even for the bigger module, for monofacial, we can use a thinner frame. Yeah, so we are optimizing the transport, and the weight will be less, and so on and so forth.
So basically, you have many aspects where you eliminate the chance of a microcrack happening.
Yes. Therefore, we say that compared to a regular competitor product, we are reducing microcrack risk by around 80%. Yeah. Simple as that. Yeah. And then finally, you know, it's just the summary. We already elaborated about the benefits of the back contact technology earlier. The higher light absorption, the no shading, and also the better weak light performance. And also, of course, this module series will, even compared to the X6, will offer better temperature coefficient. So in the long run, you can also expect better performance from this module. And now, probably I suggest to follow Longi Solar Europe and also Longi Solar worldwide. We are quite active, and we have also introduced the new series, the HPBC X10. Now we agreed that this was just the cell technology route and the strategy and the current products for Longi. But I suggest we do another webinar in January, where I will introduce the new generation of products, which will be the HPBC X10. You can already find some details on the Longi website, and I also introduced this at briefly in the MNNS conference 2 days ago. But I think this technology is worth to spend more time next year. Because it will be a huge improvement even compared to this product series. So the module efficiency will not only just like 0 point something%, but even compared to all these products that I introduced now, there will be a big jump because the module efficiency will increase over 1%. And,
yes, as we talk about modules, there are 20-25% efficiency.
Yes.
So 1% or 1.5% relatively is a very big improvement. And on the same roof, you can put up a way higher butt peak with the Longi modules.
You have a higher installation capacity, and also, as you could see, even if you compare the same watt peak, you can expect that that Longi module will produce more with the back contact technology. Yes.
As we're running out of time, I think it's also important to mention, because we partially discussed it, but the Guardian series, it has these anti-dust kind of panels, which are usually installed in C&I environments.
Yes.
So they can yield a very high amount of energy compared to the peers, because they peel off the dust, basically.
Yes, so you have on a short side of the module with this special anti-dust frame design, you have a flat frame on the short side. You can clamp it on the long side, and this enables you know, like a better self-cleaning, right? So the water can wash down much better the dust, and indeed our measurements show that, of course, it depends on a lot of aspects, you know, the local environment, how much rain in this area, and so on.
The amount of dust in the air.
And mainly also the direction of the installation, but also the installation angle, right? But our tests show that when you have a 5-degree installation compared to the normal frame, with this module will produce around between 6 to 8% more. When you have 10-degree installation angle, then around 3 to 4% more energy, only because of the different frame. Yeah, so we have this kind of special products for certain application scenarios. Unfortunately, for the CNI, to have this flat on the long side, we were testing this, but it is you know, not
mechanically
it's not possible. So it failed the load test. So we are We could bring a product, but we will not.
Because it's not reliable.
Yes,
so
yes.
Don't match with your
No.
directions.
Yes.
Okay, Tamás, thank you very much. I believe we should see each other in January then to introduce the X10.
Yes, I would be really happy.
Sensors.
This will be a huge technology leap and big advancement. As I mentioned, not only over 1% efficiency increase per module, and also this product will feature other benefits like shading optimization, zero busbar technology, and N-type wafer. So it will be an all-in. I believe with this product, Longi will come really to the top of the module industry with technology. And the good news is we plan to use this technology from the second part of this year as a mainstream.
So it's coming quite soon.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the time, and wish everybody a wonderful Christmas time.
Yeah. Happy holidays. Bye.
Bye-bye.